What's your favorite cat?
So a group of my friends on Facebook all posted the same link to the same story on pbs.org. And it's a funny story, and I thought it could use the Notes from the Pastor's Office vlog treatment, so here we are. It's on pbs.org. I'll post a link to it on my blog or in the info section under the video on YouTube. It's called 10 Interesting Lessons from Creationist-Inspired School Books. The documentary film arm of PBS is called Independent Lens, and they're coming out with a new documentary called The Revisionaries, which is sort of the story of the Texas State Board of Education and all the changes they tried to make maybe a year or two back. And it's important because changes in the Texas State Board of Education curriculum affect boards of education all across the nation, because the publishers of textbooks take that information and publish it in their books. So Texas has quite a bit, and there was a great push in this last 1 or 2 years to put in more creationist-inspired information in these textbooks. Out of that documentary, they made this story, 10 lessons. I thought I'd share them with you because they're kind of funny. Humans and dinosaurs lived at the same time. A quote from the article: Bible-believing Christians cannot accept any evolutionary interpretation. Dinosaurs and humans were definitely on the earth at the same time, and may have even lived side by side within the past few thousand years. From the Life Science textbooks from Bob Jones University Press. Lesson 1. Lesson 2. What you see while you're mating will determine your offspring's color and pattern. So, for example, you white people who have bedrooms that are decorated with brown walls or, say, black bedroom suits, and you still have white children, I don't know exactly what to tell you. Admittedly, the story says that it's more something that affects animals, but either way, be on the lookout for that possibility. Also, the KKK, they're actually pretty nice guys. According to the article, some say that they were even kind of heroic. The KKK in some areas of the country tried to be a means of reform, fighting the decline in morality and using the symbol of the cross to set it on fire. Klan's targets were bootleggers, wife-beaters, and immoral movies. That's the entire list they give. I think they're missing a couple of targets, but I digress. In some communities, it achieved a certain respectability as it worked with politicians. Jim Crow. Anyway, they also mention the slogan from the KKK website, bringing a message of hope and deliverance to white Christian America. A message of love, not capital N, capital O, capital T, hate. Moving on. The oceans are salty because God made them that way. There's no explanation of why the water needs to be a certain percentage of salt. No really scientific explanation beyond God wanted it that way. The Great Depression? Oh, just America having the blahs is what it was. Oh, all those statistics in the movies, Grapes of Wrath, all the numbers of unemployed and homeless people reported. No, that was just a propaganda campaign. So if you have grandmas or great-grandmas that experienced it and you've heard real stories from them, ignore it. Grandma's just gone off her nut. This is my favorite one. Fire-breathing dragons may once have roamed the earth. According to the story, there were chambers in dinosaur skulls that could have held liquids that once expelled out of the dinosaurs' mouths could have mixed together to make fire and smoke. Moving on. The Trail of Tears, one of my favorites. The Trail of Tears had a special purpose. The Trail of Tears was a trail made by Andrew Jackson to move Indians from their native lands and put them in Oklahoma. 4,000 of 15,000 Cherokee Indians were killed along the Trail of Tears, just to give you an idea. God used the Trail of Tears to bring many Indians to Christ. And while that's true, It's certainly not the entire story, so thank you, Texas Board of Education. The moon exists for the same reason the sea is salty. God put it there. God made it that way. Climate change is not really an issue. Of course, those who follow current news know that that's nothing new. And also, those who have the greatest hits album of the Creationists will recognize the most popular hit on the creationist-inspired lessons is Darwin was just plain wrong. In any of the books, that's going to be prominent. It was a funny article. Check it out for yourself. As a Christian, I just don't have a problem with science and the Bible and faith and all that existing in the same space. My faith is more than a house of cards. It's going to take more than just one card being moved to topple my faith. I know, it's a funny article. Check it out. That's notes for this episode. Check me out on Twitter. Follow me, ICanHasGospel. Gospel is spelled with a Z. Find me on Facebook, and also catch up with me on my blog. I post my sermon transcripts, everything there. www.notesfromthepastor'soffice.com. We'll see you next time.